It happened in Oregon 2017. A group of hikers, Mark, Ethan and Riley, set out to explore a forgotten logging route known to locals as the Pine Corridor. Nobody had used that trail for decades. It wasn't on most maps anymore, swallowed by overgrown forest and local superstition. They said you could still hear the workers who'd vanished there back in the 1960s when an avalanche buried half the camp. But Mark didn't believe in ghost stories. He just wanted adventure, something real, something wild. They started early, climbing into the dense pines while the sun was still soft. The deeper they went, the quieter it became. Even the birds refused to follow them. By noon, the trees were packed so tight, the light barely reached the ground. It felt like walking through a cathedral made of shadows. Riley kept glancing over her shoulder. "Did you hear that?" Ethan laughed, just whined, but she wasn't so sure. The sound was faint, like someone saying her name, stretched out, slow and distant. By late afternoon, fog began to roll in, a thick grey blanket that erased the trail markers. The GPS froze, then glitched, showing their dots spinning in circles. No signal, no path. They decided to make camp until daylight. The silence around them was absolute, too absolute. No wind, no crickets, no forest hum, just stillness. Sometime after midnight, Riley woke up to a clicking sound outside her tent. Not footsteps, not an animal, just a slow, deliberate click. Click, click, she whispered for Mark. No answer. When she peeked outside, her flashlight caught a figure, tall, thin, wrapped in shadows, its head slightly tilted, its skin blending with the bark of the trees. Then it was gone. Moments later, she heard it again, her name this time whispered in a voice that sounded exactly like Mark's. But Mark was sleeping beside her. By morning, Ethan was gone, his backpack still there. His footprints led a few meters into the fog, then just stopped. No signs of struggle, no body. They called for hours, their voices swallowed by the mist. And then from somewhere far away came Ethan's voice. "Guys, over here." They followed. But the voice kept moving, leading them deeper into the woods. Riley finally screamed, "Stop! That's not him!" The forest went silent again. Then a dozen voices whispered all at once. "Stay! Stay! Stay!" When rescuers found Riley 3 days later, she was wandering barefoot, covered in scratches, her eyes unfocused. She kept mumbling the same words. Don't answer when the forest calls your name. The remains of Mark and Ethan were never found. Rangers still refuse to enter the Pine Corridor after sunset. They say if you stand there long enough, you'll hear footsteps circling. You 3 sets and a woman's voice, whispering through the fog. Phoenix, Arizona, winter 2019. Sarah lived alone in a quiet apartment complex. Most of her neighbors had gone home for the holidays, so the hallways were empty and the air felt heavy with that strange silence you only notice when you're truly alone. At 2:47 a.m., a knock woke her up. 3 slow, soft taps. She lay still, waiting. Then came another, closer, firmer. She tiptoed to the door. Nothing through the peephole. When she crouched, she noticed a draft coming from the mail slot, and something even worse. The faint sound of breathing, then a whisper deep and broken. "I know you're awake." She froze. Every hair on her body stood up. She locked every bolt, moved a chair in front of the door and dialed 911. The operator told her to stay calm. Help was on the way, but 10 minutes passed. The whisper came again. "Don't make me knock again." She grabbed a kitchen knife and turned off all the lights. Silence. Then she saw it. The shadow under the door wasn't still. It moved, slow, crawling, like someone lying on the floor, peering through the gap beneath. Her phone buzzed. A text from her downstairs neighbor. "Hey, why are you walking around in my hallway?" Sarah felt her blood go cold. She typed back, "I'm in my apartment." But before she hit send, a second whisper came from inside the kitchen this time. "Don't open it this time." The lights flickered. The air turned ice cold. She backed away from the door, trembling. Then silence again. Police arrived 17 minutes later. The door was still locked from the inside, but muddy footprints trailed across the floor, from the door to the kitchen window, which was cracked open from the inside. No signs of forced entry. No prints, no explanation. Security footage showed nothing, except for one detail. At 2:43 a.m., Sarah's door had slowly opened on its own. She moved out the next day. The new tenant swears that sometimes Around 3 a.m., the doorknob rattles gently, and a whisper slides through the darkness.